Episode 46 of Boonboomger is nuts. Okay, a lot has gone down. Spoiler alert, Boondario is dead. He died 2 episodes ago. They tried to revive him last episode. Still no Boondario. Then the episode opens on a flashback to his first arrival to Earth. Now, we've seen forms of this flashback before, but this time it involves something, I guess, special. He crash lands to Earth and Taya discovers him, and amongst all the parts of the wreckage, there's what looks like a really small disco ball that Taya picks up and is glowing. And at this point, I don't really know what this is, but there's a character from the Boonboomger summer movie called Princess Kido. And last episode, she came to them in like a vision through the amulet that she gave Mira, and she's basically talking about the potential revival of Boondario, and then appears this silver ball thing, and she's like, this could be helpful. And it turns out that crash landed along with Boondario, but in the flashback, we also see Taya talking to him and being like, what's this? And he was like, I don't know, that's not mine. He was like, well, it crash landed with you. And he was like, that ain't mine. So I don't know. So weird, but it's definitely seemingly going to play a part. And the Rangers definitely believe this too. And can I just say, the last few episodes have just been brutal. There has been like hardly any slapstick. It's just been like hit after hit after hit. And like scary almost as well, like vibe-wise. It's, yeah. We then see that Boondario is slowly wasting away and turning into sand, and insanely heroically Boon-D steps forward and he's like, replace some of his parts of mine, like, do it, transfer some of my energy, replace some of my parts if we need to, like, we need to make sure he stays alive, or at least stays present before we can, like, resurrect him. And there's this really powerful moment, right, where even though Taya and Sakato are friends now, and they're part of the same team, there was always that bit of rivalry between them. Not ignoring, but just looking at Boon-D, Taya slowly turns to Sakato, as if for approval, and Sakato just gives him the nod, as if like, yeah, let's do this, which sent chills up my arms. Like, honestly, there was just such a moment between realistically 2 leaders. I know Sakato isn't really a leader, but he is part of his own little squad with Boon-D, like he is a lone wolf. That was a cool moment. Really colliding the two elements of Boonboomger into one, just perfect. Now, this disco ball is actually in Taya's house, and for anyone who hasn't seen the last few episodes, that is off limits. The ISA has taken over, and Boonboomgers are international threats. Again, by being the supplier, he goes off to find that disco ball with Joe for reinforcements, and then Sakato ends up going for some extra support, while Mira stays with Taya and Boondario. And again, if you haven't seen the previous episodes, which first of all, what the hell are you doing watching this anyway? But Ishiro is part of the ISA working with the Hirashalians now. He did a full 180, completely switched sides, threatened Taya at gunpoint, and for the longest time I was like, there's a bigger plan at play. Like, Taya and Ishiro are in cahoots, and he's just doing a double bluff. And the more these episodes go on, and the more crazy shit Ishiro does, I don't know if this is a double bluff, if I'm being honest. We then cut to the 3-seaters moping about as usual, and all of a sudden Yaruka is drawn to something. They're on like a little balcony, and Yaruka just shoots down there, and Grant's Risk shows up, who's like the #1 general to Spindo, and he's like, listen, there is a whole fleet of Yarukas coming to Earth through the like cosmic highway or whatever it's called, which is nuts as it is, but then says, but you were modified by Cannonball, and then gets one of the change keys that they have, puts it in Yaruka's mouth and twists it, and they become like a life-size Yaruka monster Hirashalian. Like, full size. I mean, look at the little guy. Oh, no, not even the little guy, but just look. What have they done to you? This is when Grant's Risk then assigns them the duty. It's like, look, if you defeat the Boonboomgers single-handedly, you can become leading generals of Spindo. And of course, they're like, this is our time to shine. They've been like the bums of the series. They've been the ones moping around, going from general to general. They're missing Mad Rex dearly, and they're like, this is our chance. So that's what they set out to do. And before we even go any further, this new and improved Yaruka has some power. So, meanwhile, Boon-D is now on a table transferring power over to Boondario. Not quite transferring limbs and stuff yet, but just power. And that's when they get a call of Shirabe, who's in a location she couldn't disclose, but she was like, look, the ISA have set up killer robos all over the planet as a peacekeeping system. And it seems like she got this information as sort of like a last deed from Ishiro, whether he intended it to be or not. There was a bit of a grey area with that one, I'm not too sure. But of course, the entire series, Shirabe has absolutely loved Boondario. And she's like, I will fight with you guys no matter what, because of how much I love this guy. And she says one of the coolest things. She's basically like, look, I'm not a ranger, but I'm a Boonboomger. Like, come on. And she can't disclose where she is. And she just kind of says that, and she's like, I will fight with you. Puts the phone down, puts the communicator away, and just walks off. And we don't see her again for the episode. So I don't know what this woman's doing. I fear for her. That said, if she doesn't become Bune White, or just a Bune, if she doesn't become a Ranger, I will feel let down by the show. And I will feel let down on behalf of her, because she deserves it. We then cut to Taya's house, where the ISA have basically gridlocked it, and they've basically said, it's all locked down. The remaining Boon cars that were there and are supposed to not in the Cosmic Gateway or wherever they would be, they've all been escorted, they've all been removed from the premises. And this is when Genba, Sakato, and Joe show up, and they're like, all right, this is going to be risky business. Genba is like, I'm going to go into the house, you guys distract. And one of the most badass scenes of just Sakato and Joe slowly walking towards a fleet of ISA agents and some police officers who used to work with Joe. And they're clearly looking at him like, Joe, you do not have to do this. And of course, the ISA agents are there being like, stand down. You're a Boonboomger. You're an international threat. Like, you need to be dealt with. The hype is ridiculous. And then this treacherous bitch who's been working with the ISA this entire time on behalf of the Harish aliens as well. Oh, I'm getting too vexed. Threatens both Rangers, and then ISA agents come and tackle them down. But of course, this has also alerted all of the agents inside the house to come out and help deal with it, so Genba is able to sneak in. He's walking around and he uses the amulet from Princess Kido, and he finds the little disco ball, and he's got it in his hand, until we see Ishiro is there with a physical gun held to the back of his head. Then all fucking hell breaks loose. Mamie is just insulting Joe, basically, and is like, look, you're powerless. We are the goats. You're shit. I'm paraphrasing a bit. It leads for this perfect moment for Joe, where he has been pushed down to the ground by these agents, and he's like, I don't care what I'm told to do. I don't care what the world thinks is right. I don't care what the ISA has brainwashed everybody to believe. I know what is right, and I will stand by what I know is right. And you can see his old, like, police general, the chief, kind of looking at him like, damn, he kind of right, but I kind of got to do my job. It's the law. He's standing up for truth. He's standing up for justice. And even at the end of that, Sakato just looks at him and is like, that is Bakuage, and just, it is. But then the three-seaters appear, and all hell breaks loose. The ISA shit themselves because they're pussies, and of course Joe and Sakato step forward. They boom boom change, and they fight against Yoroka, who has like special powers, kind of like the Boom Champion mode, where they're pressing buttons and like badges on their jacket. He has the same thing where he can press little buttons on himself, and it creates new powers. And then we cut to Genba and Ishiro legging it through Taya's house, having this one-on-one fight scene Genba saucefully counters an attack, gives him a little kick, and then disappears around the corner. What a king. And he escapes, and Ishiro's just kind of left like, well, shit. Now, this would be the part where I talk about my Patreon, right? But I am so, like, I'm like, oh, £3 per month. You get early access to videos like this one. You get Patreon exclusive content, and you get your name shouted out at the end of the video, and other exclusive perks and stuff like that. Check it out. First link in the description. I hope you enjoy, and it helps me do more content like this. Back to Boonboomger. The new and improved Yaraka is finessing the Rangers, and there's this one final strike which looks like it could be the end before Genba steps in with his axe sword, starts blocking all the attacks. He gives the disco ball to Sakato. He's like, right, you get that to Taya, and me and Joe will handle this. Takes it, super speeds away, back to Taya. They turn into Boon Champion mode, and they start going ham at Yurika. However, the both of them do manage to kind of muster up like a final strike, and it does destroy Yarika. I mean, it turns him back into the little car version that he is, and I guess that's it. But then the Cosmic Gateway opens, which I know is a Power Rangers reference, but just bear with me. Opens in the sky, and all the little Yarikars start flying out, and they form together to make another version of the giant Yarikar. Of course, shit's going down at this point, as if shit hasn't been going down the entire episode. But then to make it even worse, back at the hideout, Sakato's come back, and Bune D has basically gone, yeah, put that in his chest, that should fix everything. Puts it in it starts glowing, it closes up, and then slowly, Bundario starts rising, his arm comes up, and then the lights go out, and he just drops again. And everyone, including Bune D, who was the one who was like, this is what should work. What happens next? We've gone from, like, mechanics to literal sorcery. I think Bundario is just, like, gone. And it's weird, because we've got the trailer for Gojuja, and we see the mech on a pile of destroyed Zords, and Bundario's there, which will be a video for another day anyway, but did they just grab his corpse and just throw him out? Anyway, back in the city, obviously, there's the giant Yarika, and they don't have any Zords. They don't have Bundario, because, you know, and they don't have Bune D, because he's strapped up to the table, giving them power. And this is when the redemption of the century comes into play, where the three-wheelers are like, look, we fucked up. We've been fucking up. We need to do something right. And they call on their Killer Robo, and they fight the evil Euro car, and they destroy it, sending all the cars back. But the way they do it is like with a big blast off into the sky that it leads to an explosion, and we do not see the Killer Robo come down, nor do we see the three-wheelers. Now, I'm going to assume we will see them return, but as of right now, they're also pushing daffodils. Do you know what I mean? Boondario is gone. The three-wheelers are seemingly gone, and the ASA clearly have a bigger plan. Taya is called upon, and he goes outside with Mira, Joe, and Genba, to which he is met with Ishiro, who walks up to them and said there is a proposal for a reconciliation between the Boonboomgers and the ISA and all the bad guys. And they're like, what are you talking about? And this is when, what a moment. This is when Ishiro's like, a truce if Spindor can marry Mira. First of all, the first episode of the show that we watched right the way back in February of last year was Taya. The show literally opens with Taya saving Mira from a forced and unwanted marriage, and then she becomes a Boonboomger. And now, with 2 episodes left of the show, she's put back in that position, and obviously she says no, and obviously your team are like, you can't do that, no. But then the episode just ends there. Brother, I love the show. What a fucking incredible episode, honestly. Joe really got to shine. That scene with him with the armed forces was incredible. Sakado too, especially in the episode before this, when he stood up to the entire crowd and he was like, look, beef me all you want. I left you guys. I fucked off up to space purposely. Like, fair enough. The rest of the Boonboomgers are incredible. What a moment he had. Him and Joe as a duo, an unlikely duo. I adored it, and I want to see more of it. I mean, I know we got 2 episodes, but I want to see more of it. Boondario really seems gone. And again, you see him on that scrap heap in Gojuja. Did they just grab his corpse for the sake of it? I don't know. Mira's story has come full circle, and I'm interested to see how they get out of that, because there's definitely going to be a 50-50. She's going to have to make a decision, and I think in her heart, the chances are she'll be the one to go, I have to do this in order to stop them and save the world. I have to do this, and the team probably won't let her. I'm excited to see next week. Ishiro still seems like he's on the ISA's side, and I definitely thought there was a bigger plan play, but I don't think there is. I think he's just a knobhead. Surely there's a bigger... I think if there is something larger at play, Taya doesn't know about it, because I don't think Taya's just been like acting the entire time. Or maybe he has. Maybe Boondario's not dead as well, and they're all part of the plan. I don't know. And Shirabe, what is that queen doing? I need to know. I need to know she's going to be safe. What if she sacrifices herself to bring Boondario back to life? I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I want them to get happily married, like all things like it should be. And Tired is a broken man, and it seems that he's morphing back to action next episode, given the previews, but he has been through the ringer, and I feel sorry for him. 2 episodes left of this entire show. This has been my first front to back as it airs watch of Super Sentai. I'm excited for Gojuja, don't get me wrong, but this is like my Super Sentai baby. Do you know what I mean? What an intense episode. The last few episodes have been very intense. I'm excited to see where it goes. 2 episodes until it's done. So I don't know how to feel about it. Thank you for watching. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter if you fancy. All at Film Boom Studios. I post a lot of content over there. You might get some enjoyment from it. Huge thank you and shout out to Sarah Jane, our Super Dino Mode Patreon.